Welcome to NerdSpace's 4th tournament for 2016. I'm your host Bryan Hayes, and joining me tonight will be Erik and Chiji on the commentary team. But before we get to that, a little bit about the tournament you're about to see. This is our Creature Features tournament. Every tournament we've done up till now has a special rule set in order to keep things interesting, and tonight's one is creatures only. So that means you can only run lands and cards with the subtype creature. Everything else is out. A little bit about what you're about to see. NerdSpace is a small community group operating out of Croydon and occasionally Ringwood, where we invite everybody down to play their favourite card and board games and get involved in the community. We run lots of little events like this, including tournaments with a little bit of prize support and keep the casual atmosphere, D&D, lots of board games, generally anything you want to get into and get involved. So if you like what you see, you want to get involved, please do check us out online. And otherwise, we're going to jump straight into the first round, where my co-hosts Erik and Chiji will be running the commentary for you.
Alrighty, here we have the first game with Nicholas on his red-black Minotaurs versus Mitchell on his Selesnya allies. First turn has started with Mitchell going first.
Stock standard land drop, usually the first thing you play in any game.
And Nick just playing a Temple of Malice, having a look at his deck.
And I think that's going to show the difference in their deck straight away, is Nick's playing things like temples as opposed to basic lands.
Mitchell getting both of his colours off the start very nicely. That'll help him a lot. And it looks like he's going to be playing a Oran Reef Invoker.
Not a bad for a little 2-drop. The ability is a bit expensive to be that useful in play, but
late game it can be quite helpful when you don't have anything to do with your mana.
Yes, if you've got mana ramp or any sort of dorks to supply with it, yep, that's when it starts coming in.
And Nick starting the Minotaur Rampage with the Deathbellow Raider. No haste yet for the Minotaurs. Passing the turn back.
Got a bit of a out of play draw there, but
this is a casual tournament after all.
Yes. Lot more gentle on us.
Mitchell having a look at his cards. Looks like he needs a bit more mana to cast his big drops at the moment.
I think he's also trying to work out what colours he wants more.
There is playing a Scion Summoner. Passing back to Nick. Nick going to be playing more Minotaurs.
Really? In a Minotaur deck?
Yep. Nick probably not. Oh no, he's attacking in at the moment.
He has to attack with that one. Attacks each turn if able.
I did not read that before. Mitchell probably going to be blocking with something.
No, he has already accepted the damage.
Did not catch that either.
Wait, is he flying? No. Wait, flying's only attack flyings, correct? No.
Not much happening at the moment. Mitchell still unsure what to do with his cards.
Seems a little unsure about his deck. I'm not sure if he built it or has borrowed one.
Alrighty, here we have a Shadow Glider flying 2/2.
That flying might come in handy against Minotaurs.
It's going to be very handy for getting above the Minotaurs. As far as I know, there is no reach or flying in Nick's deck. However, that won't matter if Nick kills him beforehand.
Well, as long as Nick keeps dropping more Minotaurs with more global abilities, he's gonna have a large advantage there.
And seeing as his Minotaurs cost essentially nothing now, for example, dropping that for 2 mana.
And they also now have trample.
And +1/+1.
I have to find a way to get rid of that bull.
And Does the other Minotaur still have to attack? Or is it just
Yes, I do believe it has to attack each turn.
Okay. Well, Nick pretty much does want to do that anyway. Nick deciding which Minotaur to play next. Going with a Fellhide Petrifier.
And of course, giving Minotaurs Death Touch.
Which, with Trample, is bonkers.
Ridiculous.
Swinging in with at least 6 power. Trample Death Touch.
Yes, hitting through for 6 damage.
Mitchell going down to 12. Still not drawing any extra land he needs.
Yes, he seems to be a bit mana screwed there.
He also hasn't done any attacking yet, due to the large amount of creatures on Nick's board.
He may start now that he's got his flying and it's no longer summoning sickness, but I think he's a bit worried and trying to save things as defense as well.
Yes, Nick has a very high chance of just killing him outright next turn.
Yes, seeing as he's already swung for 6, he can very easily get that 12 damage.
Well, he's got quite a big creature now. He's got a 4/4 with power and toughness equal to all the amount of other creatures he has.
Yes, but at the same time against Death Touch, that's not going to be the biggest.
No, they're just going to ignore all toughness completely, essentially.
Alright, then I'm done.
Next turn once again. Drawing more Minotaurs. It's always a good sign. Nick making space for more Minotaurs.
And we've got the Skull Cleaver.
Got the double haste Skull Cleavers. We're just going to
Yeah,
absolutely
I think that
obliterate.
looks like it might be game. He's got a lot of damage there.
He doesn't even have enough power and toughness to stop the Minotaurs if he swings with everything. He just YOLOs it and oops, I hit you for 20 something.
Yes, it looks like he's going to swing all out and finish it.
Seeing as Mitchell is nearly tapped out, has no combat tricks.
Well, in a creature deck, most people aren't going to be playing much combat tricks apart from flashing in a Death Touch creature anyway.
Yep.
Which isn't going to really save him with the trample.
No. I haven't counted this up, but 3, 6, 9. Yeah, that's way more. However, it looks like he has now just conceded and ended the game.
I think it was probably a bit too much for him to take, and I don't think he felt very confident in any sort of comeback there.
Yes, the amount of trample damage coming in from the Minotaurs is too much. Here we have the results from the other games, with Nick beating Mitchell 2-0, and the other game, Erik versus Bo, as a tie, all up.
Definitely recording now.
Alright, straight into round 2 here. We have Bo playing Esper Control, somehow in creatures only, up against Adam, who's playing Jeskai Flyers. So, two guys who are both insistent on going 3-color good stuff.
And of course, silly blue stuff. Silly blue stuff.
Straight into that library manipulation. Did he even actually do anything, or just take the top 4 as they were?
I'm not sure, to be honest.
Adam straight into the pain land. Straight into hand
Brain
attack.
maggot.
Adam's just like, no, just, alright, fine, just look. Immediately taking the looter there. Shadow and card draw. It's a good card in this format.
And swing through for a bit of damage.
I like how he has effectively played, like, what, a Ponder on legs and a Thoughtseize on legs? Like,
Yes, he's essentially just converting spells into creatures.
Lovely.
alright. Nice quick turns. Of course, if Adam somehow manages to kill the brain maggot, he will get his creatures back. But without removal, it's going to be difficult.
Yes, there's not much removal that will come in with creatures.
Straight into the witch. This is Bo's game plan, I'm guessing. Exile target creature, return it to the battlefield. There's a lot of end of the battlefield triggers he can abuse with that.
Yes, he'll start bouncing his creatures in and out and just getting everything happening whenever he wants it.
Adam's opted not to put down a white source for next turn for that Mantis Rider, instead going into good old Sky Spawner. And we're going to jump ahead a bit, because to be honest, this was the slowest game of the tournament. So, the board state really doesn't change too much, other than Adam getting down a Mantis Rider and a good old Scryfish up against a Reflecting Mage. And here comes the power.
Here comes the Rabble Master, giving him all that spawn power.
So Adam's essentially going in the air and clog up the ground with tokens. Essentially a control's worst matchup normally.
Yeah. Yes, that's can very, very screw with the control deck.
Adam playing his own Reflector Mage. And of course, getting his creature back. Incidentally, we have jumped about 5 minutes ahead, so that is a worthwhile take back.
Yes, about 5 minutes later, you'd be pretty happy to get that back.
He's tapped out, so now all he has to do is swing. Rebel Master's going to make a token, and all goblins are going to have to attack. That aren't the Rebel Master, luckily. And Bo hasn't got many blocking options.
Because it comes in off the Rebel Master, it has haste. Yep. So then the
Mana base became quite an important thing when you were building these decks. We had a lot of mono-coloured decks going around, but...
Yeah, I think for simplicity's sake, a lot of people didn't have the cards to mana fix properly, the multi-lands, etc., so a lot of people went mono-coloured.
But didn't really pay off as much as I thought it would.
No, it didn't, actually.
There's the blocks. Bo, of course, bounces the Mantis Rider with the Witch, as you would. But vigilant, so it's still going to be maintained its relevance. Not using Scryfish, though.
Yes, that's a bit odd.
It's not his deck, I can inform you.
Yes,
so he is
true.
so in the
he's
deep end.
probably very, very unsure about what's coming up, what's in there, or how to really even play it.
This is game 1. We'll show you game 1 and a chunk of game 3, because game 2 went for 4 decades. Alright. Bo's having a little bit of a ponder. Adam hasn't really got many options left open in his hand. He's got his Shadow Looter and a Fairy that's going to bounce creatures back to his hand. So he can reuse Reflector Mage. Evolving Wild's probably not what he wanted to see at that point.
Yes, I think he had that in a few games where he got Evolving Wilds and was a bit disappointed.
I happen to know the guy who built that deck and its mana base, and he made it up at the last minute.
Yes, I think that guy's a bit of a strange one.
He's not very good at what he does.
At anything really, but...
No. But if you were in his house recording commentary with him, you wouldn't say that to his
yeah, you
face.
should probably shut up, hey?
Alright, he's only got one of two choices. What would you do?
Oh, I just don't know the deck well enough to...
So he has the opportunity to bounce the... He still has it, to bounce the Reflector Mage back to his hand, cast it, then bounce the Witch out, thus getting through with the Mantis Rider, but I don't think he's going to do it.
No, I think he's going to just
crack on in.
crack on.
One mandatory on the ground, 3 in the air. Coming in, so the Realm Master's going to be hitting for 3. And why not? Reflector Mage has done his job. Just turn everything sideways.
Yeah, the life totals at this point, turning everything sideways would probably be the way to go, just finish it off.
We must apologise for the camera shake, we're working on these setups. Alright, here come the blocks.
Yeah, the decisions, Bo's not sure what to do here. You can tell by how hesitant he is to commit anything to a block.
He has to bounce one of the either Mantis Rider or Rabble Master coming in, for sure.
Yeah, he needs to bounce something, otherwise he's really in trouble.
Yep, that makes sense. So it's exiled until end of turn. Rabble Master's gonna get a kill here, no matter what happens. But unless Poe concedes. Oh,
Looks like he's looking for a double block to take it out.
I do love the mentality. He's clearly lost, but he's gonna make it go as long as possible.
Yes, very, very blue, very blue. Nah, he's decided on one.
It's just a little 1/1. It's just a chump. Yep. Trade out with the little goblin.
Yeah, do that. Yep. So they'll trade.
Just the Reflector Mage coming through.
Your TT.
These have to be the last 2 turns for sure.
I would expect so. With the field states, it would definitely suggest it.
Oh, the Scions get through too, of course. Right, so Adam actually has 1 point of damage unblockable coming through. End of Mantis Rider, he's going to
Yes,
immediately
so
play
he's
back
got
down.
Trespasser Ilvec, which can attack with Shadow. Slide through fairly easily.
Oh, he's going for the Scryfish.
I think he actually just got reminded by Bo about
Yeah.
the Scryfish then, to be honest.
And that's the joy of these casual tournaments. Like, we
It is
enforce
nice.
the rules.
It is nice to see your opponent helping you out when you're not sure about your deck. It really makes you feel a bit less horrible.
And there's Mantis Rider back in. Now, if Bo can make it out of this, it will be amazing. And the scary thing is his deck can.
Yeah, if he's got the right stuff, I can see it happening, but I think at the moment he just doesn't have what he needs.
Can't quite make out what's being held in hand there, but it does not look like. Oh, that's a Doomwake Giant. So that's going to give neg 1, which will shut down most of the time. No, he's not even going to bother.
He's sweeped, so that's game.
Alright, so that's game 1. So Adam's 1 up. We're going to jump past the second game and jump straight to the third game. Now, Bo wins the second game quite handily off multiple Doomwake Giants. Just giving all creatures neg 1. It's essentially a board wipe. And then we're going to jump midway through the third game where things get really interesting.
You get to keep 2
And
creatures
here we
and
are.
sack the rest.
So Doomwake Giant, like mentioned, Constellation, when it or another enchantment enters, neg 1, and he's going to Archfiend Depravity out, which is just cruel.
This guy paid 1 blue.
Good old 5/4 flying, plus abilities, just really punishes people.
So Adam can only have 2 creatures in his end step. He has to sacrifice the rest, and in a deck that centers around mass tokens and air flyers.
It really, really shuts him down hard.
So he's got the Nick Fleece Ram, which will be giving him a life at his upkeep, so that's why he's been slowly ticking up here.
But I don't think at this point it's going to be able to help much.
No, as soon as Bo plays literally any enchantment, that Rebel Master dies due to the 2 giants, and then, and really that's how this whole game has been. Adam plays a creature, Doomwake Giants, kill it.
Yeah, that does
Oh, dudes.
happen, especially in Constellation decks where you've got Doomwakes out, you pretty much just wipe things away. So he's going to block a Doomwake with his Ram.
Sure.
And Theros actually had quite a good showing for what was generally considered not the greatest of sets. Bestow and Constellation.
I really like those actually. They were 2 really cool abilities, something new and unique I had never even thought about in my however many 10 years odd of playing Magic.
Well, yeah, you don't generally think, but what if this creature was an enchantment aura?
But the idea of having a creature that's also an enchantment or a creature that's also something else never even entered my mind.
And then, of course, you have the gods, which were legal in this, but I only saw them come up once.
Yeah, there wasn't many people playing them. I think there was the 2 Minotaur decks had Mogus.
Yeah.
That's all that I'm aware of.
And that's one way to kill the Rabble Master by bringing in the second Doomwake. So Adam needs to pull out a miracle, and he has not found it. That's a blinding drain. So he's going to be able to tap something down.
I honestly, from memory from his deck, I don't think he had anything that would have saved him at this point.
Mantis Rider into Mantis Rider into Mantis Rider is basically all he's got.
Yeah, so unfortunately, it looks like that is pretty much the end.
But not quite. If you can just block all day. He can
But
can dawdle.
he can dawdle a bit, but it will slowly knock through him.
Tap him. Turn him to my hand.
I'm pretty sure he just drew a 4th Doomwake.
That
5.
will be very brutal. He's playing
he's
another
done
one.
it.
Yeah.
He's already got 4 damage.
Goodbye.
So he takes another.
So Adam's creature, gone. Doomwake
Also got that Arcfiend as well.
Yeah, he comes through for lethal in a turn or 2 for sure. Adam's got a man land up.
Next
but he
turn
can't
at the
activate it.
latest. The 2 Doomwakes.
Swinging with the Battlerdork.
The control deck.
Why not? Why not? I believe I did it in some of my games.
Oh, for sure.
Oh no. Blinding drone.
It's going to be over very soon.
So that's like going to be
Actually, I think
4,
it might
8,
be over this turn.
13.
Depends on what you play.
Yeah, there you go. 10. Oh, no, I'm bad at counting. Oh, he's
Uh,
not. Why is he not swinging with the Archfiend?
I'm not sure. That's a bit odd.
Adam actually just straight up concedes at that point. So that's the end of that round. So as you can see, Bo brought everything he needed to shut down Adam 2-1. And over on our second match table, you just lost pretty badly to Minotaurs.
Yes, Nicholas's Minotaurs hit me way too fast with my silly big creatures deck.
But it happens. So let's jump straight into round 3. Alright, third round.
Here we have Justin on Green Stompy versus Dimitri with another red-black aggro Minotaurs deck.
So his is like a hybrid. It's a bit Rakdos, a bit Minotaur.
I think it was Minotaurs plus other red-black stuff that he had in his folder.
It's a casual tournament and we encourage people to just give stuff a shot. It's a great testing ground.
However, Justin ramping into a land with his creepy spider thing.
Just full on ramp. Lone lava.
Yep. Getting an extra forest in his
Top of his library.
top of the library. I thought it might be a hand.
No, bad ramp. It's a new set, it's bad ramp.
Well, here we have a something. Gorehound Chain Walker with Unleash. He has unleashed it. It is now a 3-2. Can't block. Doesn't matter because he's not going to be blocking with it anyway. Ever. Why would you do that? That's a terrible idea.
Keep on up the ramp. We got a druid here, elf druid.
More ramp. Ramp for days.
Can't block, take it.
Hit with the thing.
This is going to be a fast game.
Both sides not caring about their own life totals at all. Nice quick turns. Ragemonger. Minotaur spells for days. All day. Super cheap.
So some Minotaurs are now actually free. The majority are going to cost 1 or 2, but some are truly free.
And it is just the colourless mana that they cost now. Because you get red and black free. Which is handy, however, it is specific to the red and or black.
I found it weird that Minotaurs turned up so much and no one ran slivers.
No one wanted to be that guy.
But they basically, Minotaurs are baby slivers. Just
Yeah.
bad slivers.
I was thinking about being that guy who brought the Slivers deck.
No, but you decided to be that guy who brought what you brought.
Yes.
Foreboding salt. Alright, straight into some defending reach.
Is that a defending reach 5-2?
5-2, yeah. When you want that dragon dead and you don't care what it takes, you bring in a 5-2.
I was about to say that seems like a very aggressive card, but then it has Defender on it.
Yeah. It doesn't make sense.
However, speaking of aggressive cards, we have a Ragemonger, which has to attack every turn, and a Pensive Minotaur. That doesn't have to attack every turn.
Good old 2-3.
It's just a regular 2-3.
Coming in for 5, assuming no block's going to happen.
Nah, he'll block with a Defender.
Yeah, that's probably a worthwhile kill.
He's not going to do anything else with it. Taking out probably the best Minotaur on the board at the moment.
Not sure why he did that, to be honest.
No.
So we're going to fast forward a bit, because to be honest, there was some interesting stuff happening on the second table. He says with a huge bias, because he's on it.
Here we have Bryan with his elf deck
Versus more Minotaurs.
versus more Minotaurs.
Now I believe we're jumping into game 2 here. I'm up game 1.
Yes, looks like starting with ramp. Probably going to go into more ramp.
I tend to do that, yeah.
With Nick playing this guy.
He is the MVP of the tournament.
We've seen this guy so many times. Not swinging with the elf, just to play another elf, which will play more elves.
Not just any elf, Archdruid.
Mm.
Taps for a number of elves you have.
Elf MVP. Nick smashing in with the first Minotaur.
I like how I do consider blocking it.
That is a stupid idea.
I am not a pro.
You would much rather have all that ramp, because now you're on 6 mana.
Alright. Fidgeting, Visionary. It's funny how you never really want to play a Visionary.
What? You just slap him down. Card draw, elf card draw. More mana. That guy's not an elf.
No, but he filters the top of the library.
Hmm.
So my whole strategy is dump elves off the top of the library, and if I hit a land, I want it gone. So he filters. And when he flips, he makes creatures cost 1 colorless less.
Seems cool.
Yeah, he's in every other standard deck at the moment, so...
That's a good point. I haven't been playing standard very much.
Attack with the Archdruid, which is a personal achievement. That never happens. And this is the sort of awkward bit where Nick misses his land drop.
Nick wanting to do more stuff. Nick
Forced to attack.
forced to attack.
Although I'm not going to block.
Not gonna block.
Ever.
You don't care about your life total.
Well, I can't afford to lose any of those components at the moment.
Still on 16. 1 creature for Nick. You're fine with just tapping 1,000,000 mana to drop a 7-drop Carrick Sword. Trample, you play with the top card of your library revealed.
And you may cast it off the top of your library.
If it is a creature. You probably decide to do so several times during this match.
It's generally the idea, yeah.
It's a free card draw. In green.
I'm going to try and run this in Modern one week. It's going to lose so hard, but I'm going to do it anyway.
I'm going to lose very hard. There is a mono green Stompy deck in Modern.
Yeah, but it doesn't use Garrick's Horde, and I want it to be a thing.
Nothing uses Garrick
No,
Sword.
it's way too expensive.
It's a 7-drop.
Alright, flip. I mean, that's the Trample Minotaur, but he's still missing a land.
No land drop for Nick turn 4. Still 2 mana. Probably nothing in his hand that he can play for 2 mana.
His 2 drops are black as he just discards.
Discarding
Oh no, he remembers he has to attack. I need it.
Crunch. Lovely. Buzzing back to the elf player.
I think it's about at this point I'm saying we probably won't use this footage, it's going to be fine.
However, playing lots of green things is still
Just filler elves off the top.
more elves. Counting the elves to see how much ridiculous mana you have currently.
I think I do have Lethal on board. I'm just mocking him at this point, but...
You are a terrible person.
Oh, I am.
Casting more things. You cast a Crater Hoof Behemoth,
Yep.
which gives all your creatures 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. +8/+8 trample. Crater Hoof himself is swinging for lethal.
So let's phase back over to the main game, where things are starting to get interesting here.
We have a gigantic Hydra, which is going to continue getting gigantic as the turns progress. As you can see there, Hero's Bane, you can double the counters on him each turn, as Justin is now doing.
I should actually point out this is game 2 now. Justin got 1 up while we were away. It just looks very similar.
With this board state, I can see how.
Yeah.
Minotaur's paling in comparison.
Half turn.
I almost ran Minotaurs as well. We could have just had Minotaur Saturday.
We should do that. It can be the next thing. Minotaur Saturday.
Minotaur only.
Tribal Minotaur. And then someone's going to run Morphlings and they're going to be kicked out.
Oh, they'll just do, what's the Boros Reckoner and Blasphemous Act combo. Just don't worry about it, just do that.
That is what I'll do.
The rest is filler.
6/5. Regen.
Play lightning bolts.
That means you tap out, yeah.
I think that was something being blocked.
Cool. Mine?
but it bounces, and now we have a gigantic Trample Hydra.
At this point, the mana dorks are just blockers. Just never going to be tapped again, who cares?
Couple Deer, Elf, and an old card that I can't figure out what happened. Justin dropping his land. Classic move.
Call the judge, he's clearly got something hidden under the table that he's using for an advantage.
It is a bird of paradise. If he cheated for that, I'd be very worried.
Especially at this point.
He doesn't need any more mana, because he has a 20/20 Hydra, at least.
Now, removal was running around the tables. It was rare, it's not like Doomblades were floating around, but there were ways to deal with this Hydra.
There was exactly one deck. I think, yeah, this was only one deck that could deal with it, and it was Bo's, who was running Shriek Morse.
Yeah. And arguably yours, which we'll see later.
Mine didn't have removal, it had...
It didn't need it.
It didn't need it. It didn't care.
Alright, so here we're going to ridiculous proportions. Because when you double tokens every time, or counters rather every time, things get exponential.
The card now unrecognizable under the weight of the dice.
Not trample.
It is trample, I thought.
Is it?
No, it's not.
It's not trample. However, if you don't have anything in your deck that can remove it, which I'm pretty sure the red-black doesn't, it's what you call a clock. Here comes the absurd swing.
And by absurd swing you mean block this or I one-shot you.
No, he just outright concedes.
He just concedes because he's like, I'm not gonna beat that thing. So there we have Justin beating Dimitri 2-0, and Bryan on the other table that we just saw beating Nick 2-0. So Minotaur's not having a good round there.
And now we jump into the final round.
Alright, so here we have Bryan with his elves against Erik playing Angus Mackenzie.
In the last game of the tournament, we have two of the final decks. One that we haven't seen here before, and Bryan's elves.
I'm still not sure why it's called elves, because it relies more on the big silly things than the elves.
It's more like an elves plus.
I think it's elves ramp, elves as dorks.
Well,
as we see, an elvish mystic, a dork.
Here we have the turns going pretty fast. Both players not doing very much. Here's a Duskwatch Cruder starting the filtering. Erik untapping, playing more Shocklands. Still doing nothing.
All that mana fixing.
Not wanting to take any damage yet against the elves. Bryan pondering his next move. Playing a Deadly Recluse. And more dorks.
All the dorks.
Getting in for 3. Erik untapping. Shocking himself and immediately playing Angus Mackenzie.
There's the reason of his deck's name.
At this point, I am not super sure if Bryan's deck has anything that can deal with an Angus Mackenzie.
Fog on a stick.
Here we have Bryan playing... No, filtering the top of his deck. Looking for some cool stuff.
Looking at a couple of elves.
More elves that he doesn't really need at the moment, as he has tons of mana already. Drawing the card. And swinging with the little dorks. This will put Erik to... Can't count properly.
10. Down to 10.
There we go. Numbers. Thank you, GG.
Don't worry, I just waited for the life total to change.
Erik drawing and more than likely not doing anything, as he now has fogs for days, and he has just revealed a tree named Nemesis and another Angus Mackenzie. And we jump across to the other table.
Awesome transition graphics. So here we've got Adam's Jeskai Flyers up against Justin's Green Stompy. So top left is game for first and bottom is game for fourth, I believe.
Yes, I believe.
So to quickly explain what's happened, Tree Name Mackenzie is literally fog on a stick in the sense that pay the 3 matter and none of my damage will count. And Tree Name Nemesis is going to have protection from me and therefore I can't do anything to stop it. So basically you set a clock that I can't stop.
It's just a very slow, kind of drawn out death for the elf player.
So
Unfortunately.
I decide to play every elf I can and make it look cool when I lose.
Yep. As you can see, there is probably 6 or 7 elves at the moment on the top screen. However,
Jumping down to what we should be looking at. Did you just jumped into the Nissen Game Warden? So looking at the top X cards, doing some filtering. Well, Adam's got quite a control kind of board going on. He's got 2 flyers with Detain, locking down your mana dorks, I believe it was. Just trying to hold on there while he gains life slowly.
however, Justin isn't too worried about that, as it is only for 1 turn, and he has so much mana anyway.
6 damage is in the air though.
Justin not having a huge amount of reach creatures, unless... No, the Nissian Game Warden doesn't have reach.
No. He just got to outdo the damage.
Just a big dude.
The Stampede is going to give everything trample though. Center creature, so...
Justin probably having more damage on the board at the moment, and the faster clock. Swinging in here with nothing because his creatures have summoning sickness.
Their turns are a little slower than what ours are. Alright.
Gaining more life with the sheep.
Adam's just drawn into an Eidolon. It's got lifelink, so he's just going to keep on trucking that life total up.
Yep. If he slaps it on the bird, he can probably negate a bit of this damage for a while.
Lifelink, again, was not something that turned up nearly as much as I expected it to.
Right, here we have the birds getting 7, 4 of which is lifelink.
Justin launching another attempt to drop cards.
Yep.
Just cheating all day. It's just insulting.
This life total is getting pretty close to being finishing off. However, Justin tapping out for more dorks. Ramping even harder.
Obviously, again, going straight for that Hydra.
He does still seem safe from lethal next turn, unless he drops Mantis Rider, which will hit for exactly 10. However, I'm not sure if he has that in his hand or not yet. Drawing the top card, he does not find the Mantis Rider.
It is unblockable, though.
It is unfortunate as well.
So Adam's got a lot of options in here now. In hand, rather, now. None of them particularly great.
Looking at the Sky Spawner at the moment for more flying damage. That's another 3 power, 2 of which is in the air.
With such disturbing artwork.
It's pretty creepy. It is a very efficient card though. Gets played in a few different formats.
I was terrified someone was going to turn up with Eldrazi to this, because most of that deck was viable here.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it would have dominated.
4/5 tramples. No, 5/5 tramples turn 3.
Yeah,
Doesn't seem fair.
that's why Death Touch was running around a lot. It was basically your only solution.
Justin's still alive on 3.
Tapping out.
Ooh.
So this is the final solution when you just don't want to deal with anything anymore.
The 9/9 Shroud. However, he has not killed his opponent yet, who's probably going to get him for 3, at least in the air.
Meanwhile, up on the top screen, you've just dropped your Angel, which is functionally invincible.
Yes, the 3/3 Angel does not take combat damage. Another very good creature in a creatures only tournament.
I'm basically just demonstrating my entire creature base for you at this point.
Yes. The only real weakness of that Angus Mackenzie deck was Bo's Esper Wizards deck.
And as we guessed, having 6 damage in the sky is sufficient to deal with the last 3 health there.
Yes.
So that's the end of the tournament, actually. So Justin would actually go on to 2-1 Adam by building Giant Hydras once again.
And Erik beating Bryan 2-0 in the back match.
And so there you go, our final standings. And we'd like to thank you for joining us and watching this again. If you'd like to come on down to NerdSpace and participate in our future tournaments, we're hoping to get more people, better coverage, better equipment, better everything. So if you're at all interested, please do check us out on the Facebook. That should be in the link below, or hopefully you're watching this video on said page. If you'd like to participate, if you'd like to get into Magic, come on down. We have lots of spare decks and people willing to teach and train and get you involved. Anything else you guys would like to add?
No, thank you very much.
All right.
That's it.
We'll hopefully have another video similar to this out for you in a couple of weeks. And until then, I've been Bryan.
This is Erik.
And this is Chiji.
And we're signing off.